Her story. The story of the Nigerian woman's 100 years journey from the amalgamation in 1914 till date is one of trials and struggles, as well as resilience and triumphs. The terrain for most of the way has been rugged, but the strength and resilience of the Nigerian woman has continued to carry her through. Our journey begins with a story that started in 1914, the year of the amalgamation. The day was July 27th, 6 months into the amalgamation of the Northern and Southern Protectorates into what then became known as one country, Nigeria. On that day, a baby was born to Reverend and Mrs. Ekpeyong at Creektown, Calabar. Her name? Margaret. Margaret, later known as Margaret Igbo, by virtue of her marriage to a young Nigerian doctor, John Igbo, after a brief stint as a teacher, founded her political career on the need to fight for the rights of workers, women, and other less privileged in her community, as the first and only woman in her time at the Eastern House of Assembly, a position she earned not without the protest of women. 14 years before the amalgamation, on precisely 25th October 1900, Funmilayo, who later, by marriage to the Reverend Ransom Kuti, became known as Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, had emerged into the world at Abeokuta, Western Region. Through her activism and political activities as treasurer of the Western Regional Arm of the NCNC, National Council of Nigeria and Cameroons, by 1947, she attended the London Constitutional Conference as the only female representative. Together with Wurola Esan, they campaigned for the enfranchisement of women, not only from the south but from the north as well, an endeavor made possible because the amalgamation had created a wider political field within which to operate. From northern Nigeria, which was even less tolerant of women's political participation, had emerged Gambo Sawaba. Born February 15, 1933, she had, at age 18, become a member of the Northern Elements Progressive Union, NEPU. Alongside women such as Ladi Shehu of Sokoto, originally from Lokoja, and Azumi Miller, a columnist for citizen newspapers, they dared to be different. Gambo, who came to be known by the NEPU slogan Sawaba, was said to have total sympathy for the downtrodden. She was fearless and sent to jail a total of 27 times for her stand against perceived injustice. The paths and strategies for these three founding mothers of modern politics, Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, Margaret Igbo, and Gambo Sawaba, and others who they inspired and mobilized, have stood out as centenary milestones. One such path was Funmilayo's mobilization of the protest of women, which culminated in the Alake of Egbaland, Oba Ademola II being exiled. The story of women's protest in the colonial era, such as the Aba women's protest, which erupted all over the eastern region against the incessant taxation of their husbands, is given voice by Professor Bolanle Awe, herself in many ways a centenary icon and first Nigerian female professor of history.
Particularly, with the exile of the Alake, with the Aba women's riots, which that riot was even more serious because there was a lot of bloodshed. Women were shot and killed. They stood, and it was not just Aba, it was all over the eastern region, because there are records of what happened even as far afield as Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and so on.
Women indeed shed their blood for the building of this nation, and deserve to be counted among the founding fathers and mothers of the Nigerian nation. Prior to the colonial era, which ushered in the amalgamation, women such as Moremi of the Yoruba, Princess Inigbi of the Igala, the Umuada, the first daughters of the Igbo, and Queen Amina of Zazzau were evidence that women played vital roles in the governance of their communities, as asserted by a political scientist, Irene Poggeson.
We say it's cultural, then how can we explain the role of women in pre-colonial times? In traditional African societies, women that have been leaders, they have been queens and they have been palace women, they have run affairs, they have been major business and commerce entrepreneurs.